everybody, JP here, and this is a bit of a follow-up to our last video, the C.O.C. Clean My Wounds production tricks, the way they recorded that riff to make it sound really unique. So if you haven't seen that yet, you might want to go check it out. I got a lot of comments on that about the guitar tone and how I got it, and if I could walk you guys through that. So we're going to do that. We're also going to get into some specifics about Woody and Pepper's guitar tones, as well as what they used on Albatross, which you heard in the intro there. Pepper actually used a Les Paul Deluxe with P90 pickups that he got at a pawn shop in Atlanta. I believe maybe the same day they recorded it. So I think he got that guitar and then recorded it at night. He ended up using the neck P90 for both the rhythm and the lead on that song. So I've got my Les Paul Special here. It's the only P90 guitar I have. And if you listen... You can hear how the neck's a lot thicker, right? And it pairs really well with Woody's guitar, which to my knowledge is just his standard tone. But we actually have Woody's dual rectifier settings, so we're going to get into that specifically later on. Pepper's 50 caliber plus tones, we've kind of approximated them the best way we can. And also a really cool effect that Pepper uses a lot for his leads, which you heard on the intro. It's the Cooper time cube delay. And very rare delay. It does about a 30 millisecond double. And you'll hear that on Albatross. You'll hear it on Stone the Crow from Down. A lot of Pepper's leads. He actually uses a Kiive pedal to replicate it live. But even he says there's nothing quite like an original Cooper Time Cube. So we're going to use the UAD plugin version of that. And that's what was on the solo that you heard there. But before we get into that fancy stuff, let's go back to Clean My Wounds and take a look at some of those tones. So those are our new tones. And this is the tone I used last week. So as you can hear, I was really trying to capture certain aspects of both Woody and Pepper in one tone, just for the purposes of that video. And I did it by using, the Mega Single plugin from Brainworx, which is free. You should go download it if you haven't had it yet. So I just went for kind of, a little bit of presence, a little bit of treble, and bass and mids halfway. And maybe I could have used a touch more gain. And I just found an IR that sounded good. Just scrolled through them. That's another one that sounds good. So this one just worked the best for me. I knew they used Celestion, I believe it was V30s back then in Marshall cabs. So it was kind of an easy one to go for with that. Let's get into the specific sounds though. So this is our Woody tone. And we have Woody's exact settings. He goes through these on a rig rundown video that I found. Presence cranked, bass at 8, and then mid and treble adjusted based on the room he's in when he's playing live or in the studio. So decent amount of gain, maybe a little more than I had on mine. But when you hear it, with the presence that high, mid and treble start to get a little papery if you turn them too high. So I kind of dig his logic here. Oh, and for all these, I just used my Les Paul with the bridge humbucker. It's a Duncan Antiquity PAF. I don't have anything with an Invader in it, a Duncan Invader. That's what both Pepper and Woody were using at this time, and I think to this day they still use. Yeah, so I just grabbed the Les Paul, and I thought it sounded pretty good with just that. They might be hitting their amps a little harder with the Invader than I was, that's all. And I plugged directly into my Heritage 73 Junior 500 series mic pre, just into the DI input of that. Really like that one for aggressive guitars. So that's the Woody tone. And this is our Pepper tone. Now, Pepper at the time was using Mesa 50 caliber plus heads, which in a lot of ways were like a poor man's Mark III. They looked the same and had similar controls. Big difference was they had a smaller output transformer, and the power supply filtering was a little lighter. It was not quite as tight as a Mark III for those two reasons. Didn't have quite the headroom of a Mark III either. So it was a little squishier, little spongier sounding. And for that, I decided to try the Nembrini Kali Axis plugin, which just does a number of Mesa tones quite well. And Pepper always talks about liking that 50 caliber plus because to him it sounded like Master of Puppets, even though his sound wasn't quite as scooped or as gainy. I mean, it might have been if you go back towards Blind, but definitely by this album, they weren't quite going with that sound. They were going for something a little thicker. So I thought lead 2 Yellow sounded best. Lead 2 Green also sounds really good. But lead 2 Yellow is just a little tighter. Red I thought was way too gainy. And I've got still basically the mid scooped a little bit between the mids being on 4 and the dynamic voice up at 7. But this really reminded me of how he sounds on the album. And it pairs so well with this. And you could totally hear what I was going for with this. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, if you listen really closely to pretty much any of the tones on Deliverance, you'll hear a decent amount of what I think is like mic pre or line amp overload happening. And this was definitely intentional, and they took it up to the next level on Wise Blood with Jason Corsaro engineering that one, where Jason loves to blow stuff up like that and sort of, add distortion with compression and things like that. So they were starting to dip their toes into that on Deliverance. And for that, on this guitar bus, I have the Korneff Citral 295 EQ. That's without it. So not only am I boosting the upper mids a little, 2.5K, 2 dB, but if you go into the fun stuff, just close that. I'm cranking the buffer amplifier a bit, I'm biasing it hot, and I'm driving the transformers very hard. And that's all contributing to the overall sound. And the Panda rooms as well, as I mentioned last time. And let me, someone asked me how I go about setting the sounds for something like this. And really, I just listen to the guitar tone and I try to find a room that complements it. And so I'll set this to 50% wet and just kind of like, and see which parts of the tone are being emphasized. I did like this one a lot, the hallway. So what I'm listening for aspects of the tone that I like and how much the room is emphasizing them. And same thing with Sound City. Although this is so much easier on the processor, I might end up using this a little more now. So yeah, I settled on East Live Room. It's all about accenting parts of the sound that I like most. Again, Hallway is really nice. It's a little tighter. And the live room's a little livelier. But it's so dry without anything. So you get the idea that I hope that covered everything for Clean My Wounds that you might like to hear. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to jump over to Albatross now and talk a little bit more about that lead that you heard in the intro. So let's jump to that. That's without the Cooper Time Cube. You can really hear the sort of natural chorus modulation on this part of the solo. And again, this is the neck pickup of my Les Paul Special, the neck P90. So, I'm using the same tone as Pepper's Rhythm. As he describes, he just plugged the Les Paul into his amp and took it from there. So same settings. I did add this Nembrini 808. I could go either way with this. I'm not sure if Pepper used it or not, but he does typically boost his leads with something. I don't think it's making a ton of difference there. I'm compressing it a little bit. Just the way I would do with almost any lead guitar. By the way, this is new for me, the Apogee Opto 3A, Bob Clear Mountain. And a lot of you recommended that to me. I think I demoed the UAD LA3A, and a lot of you told me to check out the Apogee, so thank you. And then I'm using this Kiive Audio VXQ, which is like their TG channel, you know, the EMI, EQ, just to do some pretty typical lead guitar things. Boost a little over 2 dB of 2K, I'm cutting about 2 dB of 380, and shelving off some bottom. Just helping it sit in the mix a little better. And I'm using one of their transformer options. This is the Trident A-Range transformer option. Do a little transformer tour. I did a whole video on this EQ that you should check out. That sounds like Wise Blood. That's funny. So yeah, for this tone, I thought this transformer sounded best. And the Cooper Time Cube. So with the original, it was actually like a hose, like a garden hose in a box, and you would drive the sound into it and then back out of it with this interface. So this interface was like the send and return, and it would go out into this big box with these coils, these tube coils in it. So the way it worked was you had one of them was about 14 milliseconds, the other one was 16, and you could combine them and get about 30 milliseconds. So to stay true, I am just using one side of it, Echo A, at 30 milliseconds. The plugin gives you a lot more flexibility. I just wanted to kind of do it the way that it was done. And he's really just doing like a single repeat, the decay's nice and short. Let's... It's got a natural modulation happening that I think sounds great. So again, I'm keeping that decay short. That's if we wanted to add the 40 milliseconds additionally. But I wanted to stay true to what they would have done, which was just an original unit. And these settings just have different sounds. I just thought those sounded best. And I've got that and the dry guitar going into Valhalla Vintage Verb on a chamber setting that I like. Pretty subtle. That's without the chamber. So it's not really doing a ton. So that's my Les Paul Special P90 going into same settings as Clean My Wounds. Just like I demoed in the beginning there for you. And Woody's tone. So yeah, I like the fact that he used a different guitar for this song just to change it up a bit, just to give it a different vibe. It's got that slow, sludgy, southern rock vibe to it, and I think the P90, the neck P90, really suits it. I always wanted a gold top with P90s, and it used to be a day where you could get an old 50s one for not too much, but yeah, those days are gone. Now it's going to be like basically the price of a pickup truck to get one. But yeah, the one Pepper used for this was a 70s deluxe model. You could still get them for a reasonable price. They haven't gone through the roof yet, but they can also weigh a ton, so be careful about that. One more thing I should mention, although I have it bypassed here, this is the first mix that I've put together using Slate VSX headphones, and I'm loving them. I can't really, if you don't have the headphones, you're not going to get to appreciate the plugin, and I have it bypassed anyway for this, but for tweaking your mix, it is so cool. And this Archon or Archon Studio midfields sound fantastic. They're a really popular one. The reason I bought this in the first place was Jay Baumgardner from NRG Studios was talking about how he mixes at home on headphones now. And I was a big fan of Jay's work. And when he said that he closed up his old mix room and turned it into another tracking room, because he was doing everything at home on Pro Tools with the Slate VSX headphones for the last few years. So this was his old mixing room with a 9000J. And it sounds good. I mean, I like doing a whole, I'm just getting to know it. So I've been kind of touring through the rooms. But the Stevens mix room, the midfields, and far fields, I think sound fantastic. And this is one of the stock ones that comes with it. And I liked it so much that, of course, I had to splurge and get the fancy ones. And everybody raves about Archon, and I can see why. It sounds fantastic. So the other one I really liked was the Howie Weinberg Mastering Suite, which you can hear it as an engineer up front or as a client sitting in the back. And client is much more flattering, but the engineer view, you can really hear distortion well, and you could really tell when you're overdoing distortion. And, you know, I was dialing in some distortion on those guitars like I described, and this really helped me keep it in check. So, yeah, can't wait to play with this more. Can't wait to play with it on a real mix, hopefully sometime very soon. And let me know if you guys are listening to this, if you think that this mix, you know, when I was playing some of the full band stuff, if you think it sounds better or worse on your system, on your laptop or phone or whatever you're watching this video on. I'm really curious about that because, again, my first time playing around with it. And I don't usually check these out anywhere other than my laptop speakers. So, yeah, please let me know. Appreciate all the feedback. And we're going to do more. You guys might have seen that I teased a little picture of some pedals that Pepper was using in the studio. It was a Boss heavy metal and an OD1 overdrive going into it. I decided to keep that for a separate video because I thought it might get lost in the mix here. And it is a really cool sound, and I can't wait to demo it. So that's going to be coming up probably next. And we're going to do a video on some of the drum sounds from this album and Wise Blood and just some cool sort of stoner doom type massive drum sounds. So I think I'm going to do that with my buddy Drew on drums. We've been talking about that. So yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up. So yeah, hope you guys dig this as always. And please let me know. Please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of it. Take care, guys. Talk soon.